sports, you're going to look at players like Brett Farve and others where it's like, how is this going to inspire me to be a better person? Not just a better football player, but just even talking about fatherhood. I know right now Tony Dungy is under fire for no reason whatsoever. He basically said here, like, obviously –
You know the reason.
Yeah, I mean, he's with Governor Ron DeSantis.
If you're on one side, you can say whatever you want to. But if you're on the other side, you can't say anything that could possibly conflict with what they believe in.
And he's talking about this fatherhood bill where there's $70 million that are going to be advocated or allotted to different initiatives to make sure fatherhood is something that is essential in society, because it really is. And he brought up even the biggest flack that Tony Dungy got for everybody that is not familiar with the story. I know we covered it on Wednesday's live show, but talking about how 95% of 19, 20, 21-year-olds are in prison, don't have a father. We're not talking about socioeconomic. Yeah. We're not talking about race relations things. We're talking about boys that are growing up, and statistically, they are at a disadvantage because they don't have a father in the home. And Tony Dungy is standing by that, and all of a sudden he's some sort of villain for standing up for fatherhood.
He's one of the best people you'll ever meet. I played against, they beat us in the Super Bowl when he was with the Colts in 2006, but he is one of the best human beings you're going to meet. He doesn't care about sides. He cares about what's right. Yep. You know, I think I don't know what the bill was. I don't have any idea, but it seems to make sense that you would want to put some funding behind men being in their children's lives. It makes sense what the statute just told me, at least. And he's standing behind that. You're not going to find a better man than him. Anything he stands behind is usually a pretty solid thing. He's a man of faith. But yeah, if like I said, if it's something you agree with on the other side, doesn't fit a narrative, I guess, that someone's trying to push. But it doesn't make sense to me how they're jumping all over him.
I feel like there's just so many initiatives in the NFL that, like, and there are some good ones, no doubt. Like,
there are.
And there's definitely some progress that the NFL has made in certain communities at times. But when you talk about fatherhood, there's way too often that we see stories about athletes just grew up in a single-parent home. And most of the time it's just with their mother. And
I was a single parent. My mom was a single parent until she married my stepdad when I was 15. So it was just my mom. Well, she got divorced when I was 7, and she was single until she married my stepdad at 15. So she had 3 jobs, raising us 3 kids. So I'm sure and it's weird how most athletes come out of that. Like you said, there's probably not just high stat for athletes, but for, I would say, the whole country, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, not just athletes, but the whole country has probably high stats for single mothers.
And your stepdad is someone you got pretty close with, right?
That's my guy.
He became like your role model.
Yeah. So he, Troy Leonard's his name, but he after him and my mom got married, you know, he's my dad. I call him dad. I've always called him dad. But yeah, I was very fortunate that he came into our lives when he did, because he didn't put up with anything. My mom didn't either, by the way, but he just kind of reaffirmed what she was putting down. He was the man. We'd get swats with Uncle Henry if we messed up. It took twice for me to get swats with the board, and that was it. Yeah, back when you could actually spank your kids. I got spanked when I was a kid.
Oh, man, I got whooped. I was definitely like, I always felt like I was a pretty good kid, but I think you would ask my parents and be like, yeah, he was a good kid, but, man, around the house, like, we had to give him a whooping a few times. And, man, did I learn? I learned today.
You learn how to act for other people, right? Like, at home, like, this is what people talk about their kids. Like, oh, he's such a little punk at home. He's this and that. I go, well, how is he at school? How is he at other people's? He's great. I go, who cares then? If you have to deal with it, you have to spank him and this and that. That's okay. Make sure you handle him at home, and that way when he goes off to school, he acts right, or he or she, when he goes up to their friend's house, yes sir, no sir, very polite. But at home, so you have to drop the hammer every once in a while. That's okay, as long as the other parents or teachers aren't coming to you saying, hey, we got some issues here.
Do you feel like there was an issue during your playing days when it came to domestic violence and sexual assault? Because it feels like we've covered that on our show, and there's obviously times where I feel like maybe specifically Roger Goodell is kind of been light on some of these, and then like someone like Calvin Ridley that we brought up earlier when we were talking about
$1,500.
It's like he's out the entire
You
season.
did the worst thing you could possibly do. There's no chance you're playing in the football game and you bet on it. How could you ever do that? That's the worst thing ever. It's dumb.
And then people like Greg Hardy that were constantly getting in trouble there, and it's just like there is an aspect I do understand with sports where if you can play, you have these teams are going to do whatever the hell they can to get you on the field because it's going to sell tickets, it's going to sell jerseys, and it's going to help you win games. But I feel like if they really did care about some of these initiatives, push fatherhood, and then actually do whatever you can to stop domestic violence and sexual assault.
So when I don't remember a lot of instances of that when I played, like during the NFL or throughout the NFL. I'm sure there were some I don't remember. But when I feel like Goodell, when I played, was like, if you did something here, this happened. He was there's no gray area with him when I played. No. If you did this, that happened. It was black and white. You do this, that happened. You do that happened. That's what, there was no gray area in between. So guys knew if they messed up, they were going to get suspended, or you're going to face some kind of punishment or fine or whatever if you did this or that. And now I don't pay attention enough anymore to know what's really going on. But you know, the thing I don't like is if, say, a guy allegedly does something off the field and doesn't get in trouble by the police where he's acquitted. Why is the NFL jumping in there saying, well, we're going to now we're going to lay our tally on them. We're going to, because say a woman falsely accuses you of something, but you get acquitted of all things criminally, whatever. But the NFL is like, no, we're going to punish him now because that shouldn't have happened. Well, he doesn't have control of what the woman said. You know, it just, there's some things I don't like about that because, I mean, Goodell has a tough job. I get it. But I just don't like the way if a person gets off with our justice system, then that should be the end of it. The NFL shouldn't be able to tally them anymore or take their money or suspend them. Unless there's something else going on, like drug-wise or whatever, they shouldn't be able to do anything else to them.
You like what you just saw and you want more non-woke sports talk and conversation? Of course you do. Make sure you head over to the Breakaway YouTube channel, subscribe, also hit the like button. We give you all that sports news without the nonsense. That's what you're looking for. We're also on Instagram at TPUSA Breakaway. Appreciate y'all. Go Sports.